Welcome back to another episode of the High Altitude Training Institute. My name is Greg Riverdio, and this is week 18 of the Advanced Half Marathon Training Plan. If you haven't watched the introduction video, I highly recommend that you do so. That video will give you information about three separate things. The first one is which of these training plans should you be following? We have a beginner's, we have an intermediate, and we have an advanced training plan. The second thing is figuring out where you should be starting your training in these videos. This is a 20-week program, but maybe all you need is 16 weeks. So go on the website and figure out where you should be starting this plan. And finally, the last thing that it will do is help you with the pace. Which pace should you be doing on your easy run? Which pace should you be doing on your long run, on your tempo run, and all of that. That's all going to be in the introduction video. So go ahead and check it out. The link will be in the description below. The topic this week is shoes. Let's talk about picking the right shoe for your foot. A lot of people, whether they're intermediate or advanced runners, have issues finding the right type of shoe. So hopefully that's not you. Go to a store and make sure that you get fitted for the right type of shoe. Do you need a shoe that has a lot of support, or do you need a shoe that's going to be neutral? Or do you need a shoe that's going to be somewhere in between? Make sure that you understand how your feet work so that you don't get injured. A lot of people select the wrong type of shoe. They just use color, they just use design, or maybe a brand, or maybe something that a friend told them was good for them. Don't listen to your friends. Your friends have a different foot than you have. So make sure that when you go pick the shoes, you don't base it on color, you don't base it on design, you don't base it on what your friends are telling you, but you base it on a shoe that's good for you. If it's an ugly shoe, that's fine. I've bought ugly shoes because they fit and they were what I needed. That's fine. Nobody looks at your shoes anyway. Don't worry about that. The second thing I want to talk about is making sure that you don't use your shoes for too long. Now, you have to replace your shoes after so many miles, right? You know that already. Are you keeping track of your mileage on your shoes? You probably should. When you start to feel uncomfortable wearing the shoes, it's time for them to go away and get a new pair. If you start to see the tread at the bottom of the shoe wear out and getting completely flat, it's time for a new pair of shoes. I've made a mistake in the past of wearing shoes for too long because I love the shoes and because they were still somewhat comfortable, and then I got injured. And so don't make that mistake. When it's too late, and it's going to take you several weeks to recover from making that mistake. So keep track of your mileage. When you notice that it's too much, just spend the money and get a new pair of shoes. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about regarding shoes is using the right type of shoe for the right type of terrain. I use three different types of shoes. I use shoes for the road. Those are my trainers. If I'm going to go out there, I'm just going to wear these shoes. I use them for tempo runs as well sometimes, but mostly just easy runs on the road. I do a lot of trail runs, so I have a pair of trail shoes specifically designed for trail runs, and not only that, but specifically designed for the kind of terrain that I encounter on my trail runs. I live in an area that has very technical trails, so I have shoes that are designed for technical trails. And finally, the last type of shoe that I have is a racing flat. The racing flat serves two purposes. The first one is something that I'm going to use during a race. Now, these racing flats are very light, and I'm going to wear them from anything from a 5K to a half marathon. And then the second thing that these shoes are good for is running on the track. I love wearing those racing flats on the track so I can get a little faster and so I can get comfortable wearing them in a race pace environment. So if you're starting to get serious about running, think about getting several pairs of shoes just so you have one for each of the different type of running that you do. And that's going to help you prevent injuries and also get more comfortable running in different types of surfaces. Now let's take a look at this week's training plan. For this third week of training out of 20, if you're doing the entire training plan, we are going to be doing 41 miles. We're still in phase 1 and we have 18 weeks until race day. Just like last week and the week before, we're going to be running on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday doing easy runs. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing our long run of 11 miles. Now, like I've mentioned in previous videos, if you don't want your rest day to be on Wednesday, you can pick any day of the week, but you need to stick with running 6 days a week and taking 1 day off. Now, if you're not interested in doing 6 days a week, I highly recommend that you take a look at our intermediate training plan, which is designed around 5 days a week and also pretty intense. As always, please give us a like, leave us a comment if you have any question, and don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot more videos coming up for you in the near future. If you want more information about the High Altitude Training Institute and what we do, please go ahead and visit www.altitude.run. You'll find that we do offer coaching, and we also offer a custom training plan for other distances. And finally, we offer summer running camps at high altitude in the summer in Arizona. Join us, find out more information, and we will see you next week. Have a great week of training.